is going on, everyone? Welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the MIgardener channel. I hope you all are going to enjoy this episode. I definitely am. I'm really excited to film this episode. A lot of you have been messaging us and emailing us this question that we're going to be covering today, and that is on how to get straighter carrots. Now, carrots by nature are a root crop. They, by nature, will travel throughout the soil wherever they are needed to be. And so carrots are, they're always a crapshoot every single year. When we pull up our carrots, we don't know what we're going to get. It's so much fun to grow carrots. But it's been a very common question that I think has been probably one of the most asked questions of the year. So I really hope that you guys are going to get some value from this, because I honestly could not tell you how many people have messaged us. And in fact, one lady actually sent us an email. I told her I wasn't going to mention her name because she was rather embarrassed after I gave her my answer. But I asked her if I could use her question in this video, and she said, "Yeah, sure. I think it would be good to cover." So the question was, are my carrots still edible even if they're all forked and scraggly? And I said, absolutely. A carrot is a carrot. I think this is a really common misconception that I see from a lot of people that have something that doesn't turn out like it does in the grocery store. If it's forked or scraggly, or if it's really, really small. We've had people show us pictures of like cantaloupes or fruits that are just really microscopically small, and they say, is it still edible? And I don't understand I guess I just don't understand, but food doesn't become poisonous just because it's misshapen. It's still edible. It's still what it was, when you grew it. So I think this is a common misconception, but nonetheless, there is a common theme this year of people wanting to grow straighter carrots. The first way that you can get straighter carrots is by having rich, loose, deep soil. Really deep soil is crucial for having straight carrots because of the fact that they're a taproot. They go throughout the entire soil. And if they hit something, they're going to bend. And that bend doesn't straighten over time. It stays bent for the rest of its life. So that's the thing. You want to have about 12 inches of really deep soil. Make sure it's really loose, really rich in organic matter. Compost is great. And there's a lot of people that when they grow carrots, they'll actually add sand to their compost. This is a good method if you want to guarantee really straight carrots. However, I don't typically add sand to my soils because of the fact that it increases the drainage, and that often will cause the soil to dry out faster, and it also will have a tendency to leach nutrients faster from the soil. So I don't add sand, but adding sand is a tried and true method to getting really straight carrots, because what it does is it reduces the possibility of compaction, which can constrict the carrot root and cause it to become really slender, or it can kind of cause it to be crimped in certain areas, which can cause misshapen carrots. The second reason why your carrots are misshapen, or a way to guarantee them to be straighter, is by not having as much nitrogen. Too much nitrogen will actually promote a lot of foliage growth, but will not focus a lot of root growth. Carrots are a root crop, not a leaf crop. And so if you add a lot of nitrogen, they're going to prioritize what you're giving them. And in order to guarantee larger, healthier, straighter roots, you want to actually have slightly, not depleted to the point of nutrient deficiencies, but you don't want to go in with the mindset of fertilizing with nitrogen. We give them a very well-balanced fertilizer, but it's actually slightly higher in phosphorus. We give them Trifecta Plus, which is a 5-10-4. And so that's 10% by weight of phosphorus. Phosphorus is really good for root development, and it's very crucial to have large size roots. So anything that is a root crop, they will benefit from more phosphorus being in the fertilizer. But we're not neglecting the nitrogen, we're not neglecting the potassium. We just want to focus a little more on that phosphorus, because if you give them something really high in nitrogen, they really won't even form a carrot. They'll more or less form just roots like regular plant roots would. And the third way that you can help to guarantee straighter carrots is through intermittent watering. This is a very common method that a lot of carrot farmers will utilize in growing carrots, because of the fact that a carrot is a taproot. And if you water it regularly, on a very regular basis, and you keep it damp for long periods of time, what will happen is the plant is advantageous. It doesn't need to grow if what it needs. It doesn't need to grow if what it needs to grow is right there, if that makes sense. It doesn't need to go and travel throughout the soil, which is a root's job. And so a lot of people make the mistake of watering very heavily all the time and keeping it, very well watered right at the base. And the fact of the matter is that's actually counterproductive to getting healthy carrot roots. If you are someone that wants to get good size, straight tap roots, what you are actually really supposed to do is to water heavily, water very deeply throughout the entire soil column, but then let it dry out and do that period, because then what it does is it actually encourages more root development lower down, and that continues that tap root and makes it larger. So those are the 3 simple ways to getting your carrot roots to be larger and better shaped. Bonus tip to getting straighter, healthier carrots: if you crowd your carrots, they tend to really tangle up together. They will kind of do those things where they look like carrots hugging. I'll see if I can post a picture. Carrots hugging, they kind of like enwrap themselves up. And that happens from carrots being planted too closely together. But that's just basic spacing. We always say that if you space your carrots about 2 inches apart on center, that's more than fine. So it's about an inch. Well, actually, it's 1 inch on center, so it's 2 inches total spacing. So 1 inch and 1 inch between plants, and you should have adequate spacing for good root development. So we just grew this 1 strip of carrots here. We didn't really grow a lot because I can't even eat carrots. I'm actually allergic to them. It's crazy as crazy as it may seem. I'm actually allergic to carrots. Wow. So these are the tender sweet variety. They are supposed to be a really long, slender carrot, and indeed they are very long and very slender. But you can see, check that out. Look at that. Not a single bend in the root, and in fact, they were so long that they accidentally broke there. These are commonly used in like exhibition for really long carrots. They'll put them in tubes full of compost and sand and just basically train the roots to be 3-4 feet long. It's incredible, but they clearly snapped off a little bit there, but nonetheless, beautiful straight carrots. I'm actually really happy with that. Wow, look at that. See, every once in a while, see, you still get some weird shapes. You still hit something in the soil there, and that caused it to fork because it can't continue down. But really happy with this carrot harvest so far. They're really long and slender, but you know what? They still eat like carrots, and those are actually some really nice sized carrots for how dry it's been. Oh man, carrots keep breaking. Check out that carrot. Wow, that is a huge carrot. It actually broke off at the top there. The taproot was so long that it just snapped off when I was pulling it. But that's an incredibly long carrot there. Nice. Yeah, the tender sweets are known for doing that. But man, oh man, did not expect that. This is the size we're getting though, pretty average here. This is about the average size. These are a little smaller than average size, but nonetheless, they're going to be really delicious. All right, check it out. Pretty good haul. I'm really happy with this. For the amount of carrots we grew, because again, we don't eat that many carrots here due to my food allergy. For the amount of carrots we grew, it's a pretty good haul. I'd say it's about 2 pounds of carrots total. It's 6 pounds total with foliage, but once you take out the foliage, it's probably about 2 pounds-ish. And that's fine. I mean, that's a lot of carrots to enjoy. And I'm really glad we grew them. There's a few things that I'm always learning. I'm always trying to learn and hone my skills when it comes to growing things. We definitely got the soil quality right. The texture is beautiful. It's really loose. It allows the roots to go down deep. We also I think we got the right amount of water. Despite it being the driest season on record, again, I contribute a lot of that success to the cores. Core gardening has really helped us when it comes to not irrigating. We do not water our beds. We don't water our beds at all. The entire summer, we let whatever the plants got was from natural rainfall. So that's awesome. But there's a couple things that I would have done differently. The first one is I would have let them go a little longer. I think I underestimated how long it takes the tender sweets to mature, and they are a little smaller due to that. I think had I let them go another 10, 15, maybe even 20 days, they tend to size up faster when the weather gets colder. And since it's been so warm, I don't really think they've gotten the cue. It just started getting cooler probably into the mid to high 60s maybe about a week ago. So they might have just started sizing up, which is, again, that mistake that I made. But I really wanted to clear that bed out and actually put some spinach there that we're actually all going to enjoy, since I don't really eat carrots. So I wanted to get them harvested, but I think that could have contributed to larger carrots had I let them wait a little longer. The second thing that I would have done differently is I know next year I will not mix carrot seed. The problem is that I had the tender sweets, I had the scarlet gnats, and I had the little fingers. I just took them in a bowl and just mixed the seed up. But what happened is I got about 99% tender sweets, and I got almost no scarlet gnats. I think maybe one or two. I got maybe one or two little fingers. And the reason for that is I definitely saw how aggressive the foliage was on the tender sweets. And I think what happened was they sprouted sooner and they grew faster. They just generally outcompeted the other varieties. Now, again, that's not a bad thing if you separate the two. Both of them have their benefits. The scarlet gnats just takes slower to get started, but gets a lot bigger and a lot heftier. And the tender sweets grow a lot faster foliage and they have smaller root size. They all have their benefits. But this one is definitely a faster grower, which kind of led to the other ones being outcompeted. So I would not do that again. And then the third thing that I would do next year that I did not do this year is I would definitely work on growing a different variety. These are just not our variety. Tender sweets they're beautiful, they're nice, but they're definitely more of a competition or like an exhibition style carrot. I really like I like growing, because again, I can't eat them, but I enjoy growing a really large, hefty carrot with a lot of girth to it. These are just really slender. Even the ones that were big, like I showed you that one that got really nice size, it just still was about the diameter of a quarter. And that's okay, but I like growing big carrots. So I probably would stick to like the Danvers. The Danvers or the Scarlet Gnats are really nice sized carrots, and they get a real nice diameter to them as well. So I would grow those next year. But yeah, I always try to growing something new. This was the first year trying tender sweets, and I'm not bummed that I did it, because now I know what not to grow. And I think that's important to remember too. If you're trying something new and you don't like how it turned out, try a different variety, because sometimes some people, they stop growing something altogether because they tried it just once and didn't like it. Different varieties have different flavors, different shapes, different sizes, and I think that's very important to remember. Just because you don't like spaghetti squash because how stringy and funky it is, doesn't mean you don't like all squash. There's so many squash varieties out there. Try a butternut. It's a little creamier, a little softer. So just keep that in mind. Try some varieties. Try something new. Always press yourself to grow bigger, grow better. And I'm glad you guys got to tune in for this episode. So as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel reminding you to grow big or go home. I'll catch you all later. See ya.